All right, I'm going to be jumping on and saying hello and giving you some updates, giving you some downloads, giving you some info. And I'm going to be jumping on now every day for about 30 minutes for the next 12 days. And I'm going to be taking everybody through the process of what's happening in the world at the moment and what you can do about it, and the absolute process of the pillar code. And I'm going to be explaining everything that is linked into what's happening around the world, linking into what is happening with the pillar code and the remedy that comes with this, that you can do something about it. So, I hope you are all really well and very calm, and you are sitting in your beautiful Zen state, and you are listening to the news incredibly sparingly, and you are not doing too much of the fear mongering, and that you have not got a whole spare room full of toilet paper and sanitizer and baked beans. So, what I'm going to do is give you the info that I have about what has been going on. But we're going to have, for the next 12 days, we're going to have a very structured process about also what I've been told to fill you in on. And that will be taking you through literally what the pillar code is about. And I'll explain why. Because 8 years ago, we were told that in 8 years' time, there'll be something that is going to wake the world up. And that we could either do it through that 8 years and wake ourselves up and be the best version of ourselves that we could, and do all that, people say, the work that they need to do on themselves, and be prepared and stay calm and be conscious and wake the hell up and wake others up and live a life of joy and not buy into the illusion, blah blah blah. I've been speaking this for 8 years. And then there would be something that would literally start to move the world quite rapidly into consciousness, quite rapidly into waking up. Well, what has happened is, when you are in that conscious state, you can go through a really beautiful state of waking up, and that could be an amazing epiphany, an amazing meditation state, amazing understanding of connection, an amazing connection to a group of people that you've met, or where you're meant to be, or your heart is singing because you understand that you have a journey in this world and you have a purpose in the world, and so on. But if we don't get those messages, and if we're asleep at the wheel, literally, someone's got to go and wake you the hell up, because you're driving a vehicle, guys. You're all driving a vehicle. That vehicle is your life. You are driving a vehicle, but so many people have fallen asleep at the wheel. Now, if you are asleep at the wheel and you've got passengers in your back seat, your family, your colleagues, your work, your business, and you are at the helm, but you've fallen asleep, what you've done is you put not only the people around you in danger, of course yourself in danger, but everyone else around you in danger. And so what the universe does is gives you a great big honk and tells you to wake the hell up. Because we have been looking at your journeys, we've been looking at your purposes, we've been looking at your gifts, and we're looking at so many people falling short and not actually stepping into where you are actually your most solid. But that so many people have had this barrier of fear, and we're going to get into the coronavirus in a sec, we will. But there's this barrier of fear well before coronavirus, that people haven't stepped into their potential or their joy or their state out of fear. Now, we get what that fear is. We understand the energy of the fear. It is the complete opposite of consciousness. It's the complete opposite of love. It is the complete opposite of waking up and having that trust and that faith that you are supported, that you are a part of that one and that consciousness. So we get where this fear is coming from. But what's happening is you've been building skills and building skills and building skills and learning and going to courses and doing things online and having personal development and self-development, or you've gone to uni or you've learned a skill set or something. And then what we've said to you is match your joy, what you're good at, what you're naturally good at. If you're naturally good at singing and you're sitting in an accounting office, that's not going to be a nice match. If you're naturally good at, the instinct of talking to people and listening, if you're naturally really good at listening, and all you do is a modality or a job, something that is just speaking at, there's no match. If you're naturally good at being able to lift and explain something to people, if you're a body worker, or if you've got your head in a car and you're fixing cars and you can't actually explain things to people, it's not a match. So what we've been saying for these last 8 years is know that inner skill, know that inner core, that passion, that joy, that love of you, and then look at all the things that you've aligned in your skill sets. Where have you, what have you learnt? What are you good at? What are you intellectually good at? And then blend the two. And then when you know how to blend the two, that's your direction and that's your path forward. But what has happened is people are starting to feel that sense of where they got their capabilities and they're good at, and they feel that sense, so that they know it, because it's all the degrees on the wall, it's all the information, it's all the certificates, all the little courses, all the skill sets where people say, gosh, you're a good cook, or gosh, you're naturally good at organizing something. And they're the skills that you've got. And then when you blend it together, that's where you pull the pin and you lose the fear that you can actually blend the two together, and that can be an absolutely stunning, fantastic life for you. So what we've been watching are so many people start to step forward and then step back, start to step forward and then step back. Why are you stepping forward in the first place? You need to ask yourself. And then you ask yourself, why did I step back? If you stepped forward going, gee, I had this, I woke up one morning, I went, this is what I'm going to do. And I feel really calm about it. And I actually have this knowing that I'm going to move forward in this particular part of my life. It could be a new relationship. It could be starting a family. It could be a new part of your career. It could be where you're going to put your money. It doesn't matter what it is. But you have this thing about, I'm going to step forward into it. And then you get 25% in, you get the quarter in, and then there's this, whoa, stop. What are you doing? What are you doing? Who am I to have that? I won't be able to learn that. I won't be able to take that information in. I won't be able to get a partner, or I won't be able to be a good mother, or I won't be able to know where to put my finances, or I won't be able to apply for that job or that promotion. And then the wall comes up at that 25%. So do you get me? So what I'd like you to do for everybody is look at something that you've had this real calmness about, this real instinct about, and you've had at any point in your life when you've gone, my goodness, I am going to do that. I know some people who are practitioners who have gone, I'm going to present, and it's a knowing, and then they step forward into it and the 25% comes up and they're going, what am I even thinking? What have I got to say? Who would listen to me? So look back at, what have you had this absolute instinct on? You don't have to put it on here. You don't have to comment. You can if you like, because it'd be a bit of fun seeing what's going on with it. And what has blocked you at that 25%? What's the fear that has stopped you at that? And we're going to do some coding on it. So what have you got? Do you have something that you've had this instinct, I'm just going to do it, but you got a quarter of the way in and you stopped yourself. So what we're going to have a look at is the fear and what that fear is actually playing in and playing out, because this is the exact example about what is happening around the world at the moment. We have expressed to you and shown you in so many ways about that the fear will actually expand everything, exaggerate everything, put everything into this fabrication of bigger than what it actually is. But you can do the opposite of that, and you can hold the opposite of that, of everything that is in that love vibration, and you can expand that love vibration or that manifestation, which we're about to go into in a minute. And we're about to look at how you can actually expand that. And can you imagine if you can expand the good as much as this world is expanding the fear and the fabrication and the trauma at the moment, imagine if even 10% of what is happening in the world was actually transferred into the great, then that would just be an incredible change to the planet. Start looking at, if you are going to buy into the news, start looking at the good stories. Start looking at the waterways that are clear. Start looking at the airways that are clear. Start looking at that people aren't going to be your fashion hoarders and Friday purchases and wasted that they've got to buy a new pair of shoes every Friday or a new handbag every Saturday. Have a look at what's going on, because what is happening is that this, as much as, and this is a different story, we've spoken on this before, as much as what's going on around the world is something to take seriously. Yes, of course, you need to take your precautions. Yes, of course, you need to make sure that, for the healthy ones who are clients listening to this, do exactly what you've been told through the Pillar Code. For the clients, you know exactly what to do. And for clients, you're the ones who are sitting in the calmness. You're the ones who understand what you're sitting with. For our clients, they're the ones who are actually sitting there going, so thankful that they've got the tools, that they've vibrationally shifted, that they've worked on their blocks, that they've moved their things moving forward. So for clients out there, we're actually going to say, do what you've been shown to do. Do your sealing. Do the manifestation work, do those exercises that we've given you with each pillar. For those who haven't gone through the Pillar Code, you got two choices. Either have a look at lifting your immunity, literally have a look at what we've been saying to you for the last 8 years, lift your immunity. Either go through the Pillar Code, get your immunity checked. The Pillar Code is about literally lifting up the fears and the blocks in your life to build your resilience. The entire Pillar Code is about reveal to heal. You cannot heal something, you cannot keep yourself safe from something if you've still got things within your system that you don't know why is tripping you up, that you don't know why is creating this fear. So keep yourselves lifted, keep yourselves in your higher vibration, keep yourselves sitting up in your higher consciousness. You are going to see so many positives from this situation. We're not dismissing the fact that it is fearful and it is absolutely tragic that people are losing their lives, but please keep the perspective, please keep the facts going. Please have a look at, there's already been so many deaths, unnecessary deaths. What about children who are not being given breakfast or dinner today? What about that? What about people who don't have a home to live in? What about that? What about the fact that influenza has been killing people by the tens of thousands every single year, and that there has been no understanding about supporting and helping and lifting hygiene? What about that? What about all the other situations that can be controlled? Now, we have always said that if the day that the cold is cured, I'm not talking about coronavirus, we're not talking about influenza, but we have always said the day the common cold is cured will be the day that the planet will go into a mental health breakdown, because the common cold is an example of all the 500 million examples that your body can talk to you about. But the common cold is an example about what your mind, your soul, your life, your journey is explaining to you. So the common cold is there to say, too much congestion, too much going on. I don't know where to start. I don't know what's happening. You look at what your body is speaking to you about. So the cold is about congestion. What do you do when you have a cold? You're meant to isolate. Who isolates when you've got a cold? No, let's just go out and keep being the martyr and keep being busy and keep infecting everybody. Well, that's about to change. No one is accepting sick people, infectious people going out to the community anymore. It's going to be about isolating. and getting yourself past that situation. Stop with the martyring of, well, I've just got to go out and do that anyway. I've got no choice and I've got no one to support me and I've got to keep work, so I'll just keep going out with this cold. What is happening with this is this martyrdom of we have to keep going, we have to keep going. But a cold is the understanding of a congestion. Too much is going on in your life. And so if your body is throwing up a cold, again, if you've just joined, we are not speaking corona and we are not speaking influenza at the moment. But if your body is throwing out a cold, it is saying that there is too much congestion, there's too much going on, and I don't even know where to start. One of the remedies, apart from isolation, water, rest, vitamin C, and so on, for a cold, is you get a pen and paper and you write down the list in your head, and you keep that pen and paper with you all day and all night, and every time a job comes up you write it on the list. And you don't just think about it and go, I've got this. You get a pen and paper because you've got the tactile part of it. You've got the mind energy hearing it. You've got the visual seeing it. You've got the sense of the pen connecting to it, and you are transferring it out of your brain onto the paper. And you keep going and going and going until there's no more jobs come up, and then more jobs will come out, and you keep going and going and going. And you put that down. You transfer the congestion from your head to the congestion, and you put it all on a bit of paper. And then there's a process that we've got in the pillar code that you actually align it per pillar about what you do as far as your time frame and what you do with it, and that's a different story. But this is an example of that if the common cold was cured, it would be an absolute disaster, almost end to the planet as far as mental health is concerned, because it is there to tell you there is too much going on in your head. Get it out and get it down. And if you do that, if as soon as a sniffle comes up, as soon as a sore throat comes up, as soon as anything starts to come up and it's a common cold, you get that pen out instantly. You do isolate, of course you wash your hands, water, vitamin C, and so on, but you get your pen out, and you will see our clients know that that cold will go instantly because there's no more reason for it. So you always have a look at what is the reason for anything that's going on in your body. What is the reason? What's the message? So let's go now into the dreaded coronavirus, and let's speak about this. What is it? It is a virus that is spreading very, very, very rapidly around the world. It's spreading as fast as fear. Is it spreading as fast as fear, or is it spreading because of fear? Why is it spreading? What is it doing? What has it been told that it's been doing? Hitting the vulnerable. Those with low immune systems are absolutely the ones that we need to protect in our community. But have we been protecting the vulnerable in our community? And we will say no. Have the people and the people waking up in their consciousness, there is a movement of helping vulnerable in the community, but is there being enough done to support the elderly, to support children, to support the vulnerable, to support the mentally disadvantaged, the physically disadvantaged, and so on? Has there been enough to literally go out and support people? The grandparents who have fought wars, who have raised children, who have raised grandchildren, who've worked their skin to the bones in their knuckles. These families who have kept bread on the table, who have kept homes going, communities going, have been the volunteers of your planet, who have been in faith groups or community groups, or they're the ones who have run the schools. They are now your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. What is the community doing to reward them for everything that they have done in the past? So what is coming out is there's going to be the fear and the negative and the devastation around the coronavirus. We're not dismissing that, but it is linked directly to the lifting of the fear. The more people will get sick of hearing about it, the less the fear will happen. The viruses will actually start dropping off in their numbers. It is a direct correlation. Then you've got the opposite side. Now, this is what we always like to speak about. We always like to speak about the solution, identify the problem, but we like to speak about the solution. We will always be happy to speak about the solution. So many people ask us to go into and speak about all the negativity side of things. And we go, lift it into, to raise it into the problem only so we can speak of the solution, because the solution and the positive of what's happening around the world at the moment is mind-blowingly positive. It's mind-blowingly exciting. It's mind-blowingly ready for everyone to capture and everyone to get on board with. The world is changing. You know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. The world is changing. If you are holding on to the past, then you're going to be holding on and using a lot of energy looking at why isn't it the same? What is going on? You're fearful of the same. We say to you, be excited about the change. Be excited about what is happening, because the world is changing, because it has to. If you have people in countries like China saying they've seen blue sky for the first time in their lives, that is exciting and it's tragic. If you are seeing people saying that they're seeing fish and dolphins and birds coming back into waterways that they have not seen in decades, that is fabulous and that is tragic. So please have a look at what has been the absolute burden, what has been the problem, and what has been the solution. What is the positive coming out of this? Because the world is about to change, and it's about lifting, and it's about connecting. So what we asked at the beginning of this, do you have something that you had always wanted to do, or you woke up one day and went, wow, I actually feel I need to do this, or I'd like to do this, or I'd like to be a part of this, but you stopped it with fear. So we're going to do some coding now. So with that problem that you literally stopped yourself moving forward, you didn't go for that promotion, or you didn't actually do for that new training, or you didn't actually move to that location, or whatever it has been, we're going to do some coding why. So everybody now, number from 1 to 9. First number that comes into your head from 1 to 9. Alrighty, so with that, I'm going to go through this coding and let you know this is your personal message. This is your personal coding about what's blocking you from stepping forward, because what's happening in the world now is the fact that those that are feeling the fear are going to be way left behind. You're going to be left behind in business. You're going to be left behind in the world. You're going to be left behind in the consciousness. And unfortunately, the trigger with the coronavirus was one of the benefits is to see who's awoken and who's in their consciousness vibration, who has done the work, who has done everything to lift themselves, and those who are sitting way back in the fear wagon at the back of the train. So it is now instead of a thinking about choice, it is now a must. It is a requirement to wake up, is a requirement to step forward. If you receive number 1 from this, you are sitting with a hidden anger. It's a frustration, and so the frustration is stopping you from progressing forward. If you're sitting with number 2, it's despair, and that's all around the throat. You actually don't understand. You have this despair about, but it hasn't worked in the past, but I'm too scared about what's going on here. It's despair. So instead of doing something, you're stopping it. If you've got 3, it's disconnect, and it'll hurt you in the neck, in the cervical, in all the head, headaches, and so on. Every single part of the pillar code that has been downloaded for you people is linking into a physical form, so you can either look at the physical form, the mind form, or the soul form, and it all aligns. So 3 is disconnect. If you're looking at 4, it's a void state. There has been so much stress, your soul is literally sitting off to the side, and you become numb. You go into a void state when you take antidepressants and anti-anxieties. Anyone who's done that, you'll understand it. This is void. You become like an automatic robot. So void is, I'd prefer just to let me just put my head down and pretend that there aren't exciting things, pretend that I haven't got all this potential, pretend that I haven't got all this opportunity in front of me. Let's just go about my business, and I'm just going to go into a void state and pretend. So that is a numbing state. So that will also lower your immunity. It'll lower your reaction within your body. Your body won't be vibrant and energetic to actually lift yourself into that. If you've got a 5 is literally fear, and 5 is a point that will actually create an anxiety imbalance over into your body. So it's an anxiety point. It is straight up fear. When you are looking at fear, it's affecting the lungs. You won't be able to breathe properly. It could be higher blood pressure, but it's absolutely the anxiety, trauma, trigger, sleeplessness, nightmares, and so on. If you've got 6 is block. You're literally face planting into a brick wall. You are literally blocking yourself from doing anything. This will affect you in your physical form of blocking the body. It can block the release systems. It can block the bowel, the bladder, the menstrual. It can block getting pregnant if that's what you're choosing. It can block losing weight if that's what you're choosing. Literally is blocking the physical form. So 6 is a block. You are literally going, I'm just literally blocking myself from progressing. If you've got 7 is the apathy, accepting the negative in the world. You've bought into the negative. You're actually buying the negative. So, stop looking at the press, stop looking at the negative, or only look at the positive results. There is a million things out in the world at the moment in social media that you can find that is so positive about what has actually been going on. So 7, it's that apathy, it's the accepting the negative. Get out of that, get the mojo going. You'll be very depleted in energy of that. You won't feel that motivation. You've lost all motivation to get your job sorted and get going with the things that you are really passionate about. If you've got 8 is the illusion over loss of control. Now this one we look at like the puppeteering. It's like you've become a puppet. It is the illusion over loss of control. You feel like someone else is making your decision. It's a bit of martyring and a bit of victiming sometimes can come up in 8, and that could be, I would, but I need to do this for my children, or I would, but my partner, blah blah blah. I would go and buy that or learn that, but I don't want to spend the money because my partner won't want to do that, or something. It's the illusion of loss of control. Wake the hell up! Wake the hell up! This is your life, okay? Do you want your children out there actually saying, oh, I can't make any decisions in my life because I'm going to let my boyfriend decide? Ha! As a mother, you'd say, no effing way. You make your own decisions. And so this is what Universal Parent is saying to you. Wake up, wake up. It's your time. It's your life. You can do this. When you make decisions that are heartfelt decisions, it will be right for everybody else. You do have control. Please get back in control. How that affects you physically is the body loses its absolute control in elimination. It could come in skin issues. It could come out in metabolism and weight. It could come out in not being able to detoxify. There could be incontinence. There's all sorts of things that the body can lose control over. So it's about get yourself back in control. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can get your mojo back, and yes, you can get yourself sorted. And then if you go into 9 is the straight up turmoil. It is the straight up, or there's just too much going on, there's too much busyness, there's too much happening. How could I possibly do something that I would like to do because my life is too busy? This is the busy button person, that's just too much turmoil. Oh, I've got to do too much for my parents, or there's too much going on, and so therefore I'm going to put myself at the back of the line because it's all too busy and it's too turmoil, and I can't actually even see my way forward for this. All right, this one will be affecting you in your body. The body will go a bit haywire. So 9, the body can be moving into all dysfunction and disorder, and it can just go haywire. And you can sit there with your body and go, what's happening? Why is my body doing this? It's all in the turmoil state. All right, they were the numbers 1 to 9. What we just coded you then was what condition you are putting on your happiness. What condition is stopping you from your success? What condition is stopping you from moving yourself forward? What condition is stopping you from the ultimate vibration and love and that connection of where you are choosing to be? What we just coded then was the condition that is literally stopping you from living the life that you were put here to live. So please let us know if those numbers made sense. You're a Pillar Code client. Yes, I can tell you there's going to be, and we're going to get very, very biased here, but the gloves are off. The gloves are off, really. Yes, there's going to be all these people saying that they're beautifully calm. You've gone through this beautiful journey. You have looked into the blocks in your life. You've let pillar practitioners very gently and carefully rip them out of your system. So you're in the perfect scenario to weather this storm, the perfect scenario. What is hard though is looking at those around you who are buying into the fear. And so what are you going to see? You're going to see the higher vibration of where you can be, and you're going to see the lower vibration of where some people are. And that is frustrating, and that is really, really hard. Whether or not you've done work in other modalities, if you're a meditator, if you're able to just zone in and do your own healing practice, or wherever it may be, if you've done the work and you've connected into this, then you'll be sitting in your framework. You're going to think at some point that are you missing some information because you are calm when everyone else around you is running around the streets with buckets on their head, screaming the sky is falling. So just keep yourself up with facts, keep yourself up with knowledge, not with news. I would say there's hardly any real journalism out there in the world at the moment. You've actually got to go onto the web to see real journalism, not the news, but facts. All right. Okay. Not what you expected, but made sense. You nailed it. Information. Yes, definitely makes sense. And staying calm. Beautiful to see everybody on here is staying calm. Now that's not going to be the case all the time, and that's not going to be the case for everybody. Everybody's human, so you will move past this. So that was some coding about some blocks. What we'd like to now go into is we are going to, each day, we're going to be on here every single day. We'll answer any questions that you want to ask, but that what we're going to do is literally take you through what was delivered, universally delivered, that explains and where you can understand what is happening in your life and what is happening in the planet at the moment. So basically what is happening, we're going to explain a pillar day by day and where you are with that pillar and what that means, and we'll just do that in a short segment every single day, so you can have an understanding of what we're speaking about when we're saying we've downloaded universal coding, universal information, because when you've got the code, it's like releasing the blocks that are stopping you from moving forward. So the very first thing that happens in the world is, first of all, there is a stress bucket list. Now, in the pillar code, we call this the fix-it list. The very first thing that you clients on here, so many clients watching, but the very first thing that we do is we actually say to everybody, what is broken? What is broken in the mind? What's broken in the body? What's broken in your life, your finance, your business, down to your big toe hurting, everything. What is broken? Now, that is happening on the world at the moment. What is broken? What is going on? Do you know that they've even just said to help contain coronavirus, they're going to start letting prisoners out of jail? What? Like what? What does that mean? What is all of that? What is all of that about, other than just to create more fear in the world? So the very first thing that you need to do in your life is have a look at what's broken. Really identify, especially if you're home self-isolating at the moment, enforced isolating at the moment. We're going to give you tasks every day for 12 days now. So write down a list. What's not going so well? Have you got some anxiety going on? Have you got some depression going on? What's actually going on in the body? Be honest. Have you got painful menstruation? Is your bowel not working properly? Have you got pain here or pain? Be honest. What's happening in your life? Your finances aren't as good as what you'd like. Your job's not as good. Where with the one time we delve into the negative. So write the list, what's not going so well. And then once it's revealed, instead of sitting in that subconscious state, reveal it into the conscious so you actually know what you're working on. So the first thing that we do as with the pillar practitioners is get people to write that list. That's happening in the world at the moment. This list is coming up about what's wrong. The waterways polluted, the air is polluted. There's too many people on the planet. There is not enough food distribution. There's not enough wealth distribution. There's not enough consciousness. There's not enough awakening. There are too many people in fear. You could sit there and you could name all of the negative things that are going on in the world. So do this personally. Today's job is just to do this personally. Get your list. Tomorrow we're going to speak about what to do with it. Have a look at and be honest with yourself. What is going on in your life that you would like to lift the vibration of, lift the energy of, and lift the clearing of. And this is what we call getting your fix-it list ready to shred. And clients on here will know that the original fix-it list that you had with all of the 50 different things on it, you get to the end of it and it's shredded, and it's so exciting. There's nothing really on it that is devastating. It just clears, or it goes, or it reduces. What I'm going to be doing for the next 12 days is helping everybody lift their immune system, lift their vibration, lift their love, which is reducing their fear, lift their joy, which is reducing that burden state. So first job, get your fix-it list. Be honest. You don't have to show anybody, but get your fix-it list. We want to check out, are you sleeping? Your exercise, your diet. Be honest about it, get the list, and every day I'm going to take you through the pillars and you'll see where you are with this. So get your fix-it list sorted so we can go through and we can actually do some more information, some more coding tomorrow. All right, on that note, no questions coming in. Lovely to see you all there. Have an amazing Sunday, or is it Monday, or is it Saturday for some people, wherever you are in the world. Have a fantastic day. I will be coming on here for the next 12 days and taking you all through the information of the pillar code. We need to lift everybody's immunity. We need to lift everybody out of that fear. Please stay in your truth state. Please stay in your higher vibration state. Please stay in that beautiful consciousness state. Be cautious, be sensible, but know that the world is waking up. Where are you in it? Be at the forefront of it, not at the arse end of it. Keep yourself awake, keep yourself moving, and know that some amazing things are going to be on the other end of this.